Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Teofimo Lopez in his controversial win over Sandor Martin from Spain. Really quick, if you like the videos, you know the routine. Please like, please share, please subscribe. If you have not subscribed and you're liking the content, please, I would ask you to subscribe to the channel and welcome. If you have not already hit the like button and the thumbs up, please do that right now. You're totally free to do so. Without further ado, let's jump into this video. So I guess the question is, who really won the fight? I think that's the overall question. Who really won the fight? And here's my thing. I think Teofimo definitely landed the more power punches, but I think Sandor Martin did a better job as the matador in the fight. Yes, he was backing up, but that's his game. It's like Lara. You know, a lot of people will say like Arizlardi Lara is oh, he's running. No, it's just the way he fights. He's an elusive fighter. It's just the way he fights. There's nothing wrong with that. That's literally just the way the man fights. Martin is no different. Sandor Martin is no different. He's just an elusive fighter. Listen, Floyd always says the less punishment you take and don't take any unnecessary punishment. And this guy just doesn't take punishment. If he can avoid it, he won't take punishment. And you can see it was frustrating Teofimo Lopez from early in the fight. Why? Because he was only able to hit him once at a time. There were no combinations from Teofimo. Every time he would touch Martin, Martin was gone. Martin was gone. And then Martin was cutting angles. So Teofimo had to constantly reset. A lot of the tricks that Teofimo Lopez does with the leaping and the jumping, and it didn't really work with... see, when you do things like that, and I'm not saying that Teofimo Lopez is not a talented fighter, but when you do things like that, it works better with a stationary fighter as opposed to a moving target. And Sandor Martin was not going to just sit there and let him do his little tricks. And it didn't work. And it visibly frustrated Teofimo Lopez. I think I would have been happy with the draw. I mean, I don't totally hate that Teofimo won. But he should have won in a more exciting fashion simply because he was fighting at home. Simply because he was at MSG. Simply because he's around all these New Yorkers. He should have done a better job. He should have... I feel like there was no point in the fight, and this goes for both guys. I feel like there was no point in this fight where neither one of these guys stepped on the gas. It was just like, well, cruise control. Yeah, let's just do cruise control this whole fight. And the great thing about, the corner people is you could hear the frustration in the corner of Teofimo Lopez with his father. And he was basically saying, you can hit him more than once. Throw combinations. What are you doing? Attack the body. Like, what are you doing? Be more aggressive. Like, do something, because it was a hard fight to score. Because he's the hometown fighter, and I don't like that I'm saying this, but because he's the hometown fighter, I kind of feel like, Teofimo edged it out. Was it impressive? No. Does it need to happen again? Yes. I don't know if Martin is screaming for the rematch, but if he is not, I would like to scream for the rematch for him. You need a rematch, and you guys need a more decisive win, because now Martin was clearly angry, and he protested, and rightfully so. A lot of times guys might feel like they want to fight, but they're trying to be so politically correct. It's like, no, dude, that's going on your freaking record. You better say something. Like, you better do something. That's going on your record. And I truly see the argument, especially towards the end of the fight. Martin was the one pressing the action. Martin was the one who stepped on the gas. Martin was the one who had the reserves in the gas tank, and it wasn't Teofimo Lopez. So overall, it was not a good look for Teofimo Lopez. And after the fight, let's just say, if there were no commentary or anything like that, if the fight literally stopped at round 10, and then the cameras shut off. And we didn't hear the corner of Teofimo Lopez asking if he still has it. Now, that's a sign of somebody who's not in the right mental space. That's a sign. When you have to ask, do I still have it? And you won. You have a belt now, and you won, and you're sitting there saying, do I still have it? That's not a good sign moving forward. That is not a good sign moving forward. It's funny. I was speaking on mental health with Savannah Marshall and her loss to Clarissa Shields. And now looking at Teofimo Lopez, I see a young man who just doesn't look sure of himself. And I think sometimes you need to build a guy up. I don't necessarily think, I personally didn't think that Teofimo Lopez should have been fighting Sandor Martin since he's so new to 140 pounds. I'm not saying give him a tomato can, but give him a solid 140 pound fighter, and then, but not let him be like top 10. Let him be like, I don't know, maybe 11, 12, and see how he does with the body type. Because a few things were very telling. Number one, you don't have the power you used to have. You're not pushing people back. You're not knocking people out, and there's some real killers at that weight class. And I don't see how you stand up against any of them. And I've always been a very loud speaker of who's going to win in a fight against Teofimo Lopez and, Regis Prograis. And obviously, Regis Prograis would literally clean the canvas with Teofimo Lopez. There was nothing in this fight that I saw that would make me think it would be even remotely competitive. Okay, Teofimo is still fast, and he still has that fast twitch, but that's about all he has. He still has that great countering, but that's about all he has. And quite frankly, Regis Prograis has a lot of great countering as well, and he also is fast. I don't see how he would match up with Regis Prograis. Well, let me rephrase that. He will not match up with Regis Prograis at all. He just won't. Now, when you look at Rayan Garcia, how does Teofimo Lopez match up against Rayan Garcia? Again, I've always said that Rayan Garcia would wipe the floor with Teofimo Lopez. I believe that much more so at 140 pounds, Rayan Garcia would literally wipe the floor with Teofimo Lopez. Period. I think he's faster. I think he's stronger. I think he still has his power that translated up to 140 pounds. His speed, as crazy as it sounds, he looks faster at 140 pounds. He has a trainer who's totally 100%, giving him his attention and devoted to him. And he's just growing. And not only is he growing in skill, but Rayan Garcia is growing in confidence. Now, that's a huge factor, because if you're sitting there saying, do I still have it? Do I still got it? You don't want to be in there with somebody as hungry as Rayan Garcia. You don't want to be in there with somebody as ferocious as Regis Prograis. And you're sitting there pondering to yourself if you still have it. That is not where you want to be. Those are not the type of opponents that you want to be faced against. No. Trust me, that's not where you want to be. I don't know what to say. Maybe he should go, and I know it wasn't fun making the weight, but maybe he should contemplate going back down to 135 pounds. If you're unsure of yourself, if you can't perform at the level that you were once performing at, if you are unsure of your abilities at this stage in your career, maybe the safest thing for you to do is to go back down to 135. Suck it up and making that hard weight cut, but go back down to a familiar place. Go back down to a place where you hit hard. Go back down to a place where you could, possibly be a weight bully to somebody, but this is not the place. Tank is only moving up. Rayan Garcia is already there. Pretty soon, all the guys are going to be there. And it was also mentioned about George Kambosos. I don't think the way that Teofimo Lopez fought, he would beat Teofimo. I don't think Teofimo Lopez, I don't think Teofimo Lopez would beat George Kambosos in a rematch. I don't think that. I really don't think that. I think George Kambosos, once again, is somebody he is ferocious and he is relentless and he does throw combinations. And he's already coming in with the mindset that I already beat you once, I already put you on the canvas once, I can clearly do it again. And you're in the state, in the funk that you are in. I don't want to see you getting there with George Kambosos. I think he needs a tune-up fight. And before the tune-up fight, I think him and his team need to sit down and have a really serious conversation on should I or should I not be fighting at 140 pounds. I think that's the biggest thing that needs to get rectified and handled at this point. Should I be fighting at 140 pounds? Followed very closely by who's next if I am fighting at 140 pounds. If you're fighting at 135, by all means, put Teofimo Lopez in there with just about anybody. Just about anybody. Devin Haney. Put him in there with Devin Haney. You could put him in there with Pitbull. Yeah, there's some people you could put him in there with. But Shakur Stevenson, put him in there with Shakur. I personally think Shakur Stevenson would beat him, but I think it might be a little bit more competitive with his speed and his power. But at 140, Teofimo Lopez does not look overall impressive. The speed translated, but that's about it. Didn't look that impressive. Not at all. And I'm more worried about his mental capacity at 140 pounds. I think at 135, he would get his confidence back. At 140, I do not see him growing in confidence. I see him decreasing in confidence. But those are my thoughts. Drop your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Do you think that Teofimo Lopez should go back down to 135 pounds? Or do you think he should continue on his journey at 140 pounds? And overall, who do you think is going to be next? Drop your thoughts down below. I would love to hear what you have to say. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel.